Boyce-Mayview Park, over 450 acres of land in Upper St. Clair, Pennsylvania, that was once home to Mayview State Hospital, has now blossomed into a premier recreational destination in western Pennsylvania. Developing this land into what it is today was a process that spanned over 3 decades. The property was acquired in 2 separate sales in the 1980s and 90s. Following the acquisition of the land, the Township of Upper St. Clair developed a master plan for the site, received support from the community and Board of Commissioners, then secured funding to kickstart the immense project. The township then began to develop the land, build the outdoor fields, and ultimately construct a state-of-the-art community and recreation center, which currently stands as the focal point of Boyce-Mayview Park.
This goes back to the 80s and early 90s when we were in the process of acquiring the various parcels that make up Boyce-Mayview Park now. Over those years and those decades, there were various ideas from a golf course to a nature preserve, and as I mentioned earlier, these competing and varying interests, they evolved over time. Through the master plan process, we were able to navigate those various desires and refine what we wanted to see at the park, and that allowed us to kind of navigate that overall process.
We were blessed to have a large parcel of land donated to the township or deeded to the township by Allegheny County Commissioners back in 1984. That was about 200 acres, and then 1995, I believe, we were able to acquire another 200 plus acres from the state through the surplus property program. So there was, okay, now what do we do with this 500 acre piece of property? And there was a lot of ideas, ultimately in the early 2000s, the idea of a community recreation center emerged.
A project of this scale, one of our greatest challenges was gaining consensus. When you think about the size of the park, the desires of the public, the community, the board, and we utilized a public process that allowed for input across all of those various areas to gain consensus and try to narrow what we wanted to do on the park and with the facilities.
We had a consultant involved in the process, and we had quite a few public meetings. Some of those meetings had more than 500 residents turn out, and everybody had their own idea of what should be programmed in the park as far as facilities and programs and so on and so forth. So everybody in the community had the opportunity to put their wish on a board, and the consultant took that back and started to help us begin to refine the program from that point on.
The 500 acres was a great parcel for this recreation center, but it was on the outskirts of the township. So the idea was how big do we make it? Some municipalities would maybe take the approach, well, let's start small and see what we get. The advice that we got was, let's go large and make it a destination. So make it worthy of people traveling, 3 to 5 miles out of their way, perhaps, because it has all the amenities. So that was a bold choice because that price tag was, pretty substantial at the time.
So really the important thing was to decide on what type of facility this was going to be. We knew that we needed some level of public support to build it, but was there going to be the public support from the tax base or from the user to operate it? The decision was made to make it user-based, so we had to have the right ingredients. We had to have the perfect facility. We had to have the right program so people would actually purchase memberships to fund the facility on a day-to-day operational perspective.
The financing came from multiple sources over the course of several decades. Initially, we received a substantial grant through Representative Tim Murphy at the time to assist in the initial infrastructure and utility work that allowed us to bring additional growth into the park and allow us to begin to look at the active recreation areas, the situation and the location of the recreation center itself, where it would be located within the park, and then also building off of the trail system from that active area. That assisted us. We utilize RAD funding in at varying aspects of the park. Bond financing for the construction of the recreation center. And then we're always looking for grants for additional opportunities and enhancements as we continue to look at improving many of the aspects within Boyce-Mayview Park.
So once we got all these different committees put together after the master plan was adopted by the Board of Commissioners, those committees included the ad hoc group, financial feasibility studies. We had a national consultant in to help us with the feasibility study of a center. The commissioners, the community realized the importance of the quality of life impact that this facility and this park would have, being 75 to 100 years. So the decision was easy once they understood.
Number one was the quality of life. Quality of life for our residents, quality of life for our neighboring communities. Board of Commissioners and the staff saw an opportunity to improve and enhance on our park system here in the township. And the number one focus was the future generations of our community.
Recreation is different things to different people. So having a facility that was multi-purpose, offered fitness, aquatics, community programs, amazing outdoor facilities as well, was really the focus so that we could serve the majority of the residents and the surrounding communities.
Meeting all the desired goals and objectives of our community, the residents, the users of the park, and doing it in a sound and fiscally responsible manner. That were our greatest challenges as we navigated the refinement of what we were going to and what the park eventually looks like today, but doing it in a way that was not going to burden future generations of the township.
The Community and Recreation Center is a 90,000 square foot recreational facility that includes indoor and outdoor aquatics, indoor walking tracks, modern fitness equipment, basketball courts, rentable community spaces, and more. Visitors from all walks of life get to enjoy this gem of a facility all year round.
When we first started, people weren't sure 100% what we were and what we were going to be and what really we wanted to do. So we were really mission motivated. Our goal is to improve, again, the quality of life, make people happy, give them an opportunity to become better. We've continued to do that. Our growth has been phenomenal from a participation side and a membership side. COVID, I think, in our case, really demonstrates the importance of parks and recreation because, as we all remember during the shutdown, you couldn't go to a store, you couldn't go to the doctor, you couldn't go to the movies, but you could go to the park. And as soon as the shutdown occurred, people came here in droves and started to really appreciate what the township offered.
The fact that we have a recreation center that has all of these indoor amenities, indoor pool, gym, fitness area, rental spaces, the fact that we have that located inside a park like Boyce-Mayview Park has to be our number one advantage. The fact that you can do indoor recreation, outdoor recreation on a day like today where it's summer, it's nice outside, or in the wintertime, if you're an avid walker or a cyclist or someone who just likes to spend time in the park, you have an alternative. You can come inside, you can still stay active during those winter months too.
Having both an indoor and an outdoor pool benefits the residents and members of the rec center because we are able to offer year-round programming in aquatics, whether that's swim lessons, whether that's group exercise classes in aquatics, or whether that's just a family coming to swim on the weekends during the summer. They can still do that during the year, so it adds value to our membership.
So I think any kind of summer programs that we have are very important. They're very popular. Amanda does a great job with it. Her counselors do a great job. We have a lot of programs for seniors. We have programs for older kids. I teach a dog class, and that's always well participated. So I think pretty much all of the programs that we have here are favorites for somebody, and they're all really, people sign up for them.
All of our camps are very popular. I think families are always looking for ways to keep the kids active all summer long when they're out of school. So our camps fill that void. Our most popular camps have to be our Camp St. Clair program, which services a wide range of school-age children. That is an all-day camp, or at least an extended day camp, so all the way from 9 a.m. till 4 p.m. So it does give working families as well as stay-at-home families the option to get the kids out of the house, to do some arts and crafts, to do some physical activity. But beyond camps, we also offer a lot of family-friendly events. So things like the Monster Hunt, the Bounty. We have a huge turnout for those events. And again, I think it's just a nice way for us to get the community involved. You don't have to come here and exercise, you don't have to come here and swim, but we as the recreation department can provide another layer of service to those via these events.
Some of the most popular programs that we run here are our summer camps, particularly Camp St. Clair. A lot of the other things that are popular are programs that we theme, so something themed for Halloween, something themed for winter time whenever the weather gets colder. Those things typically sell out immediately as soon as we offer registration. And my personal favorite is our summer camp, Camp St. Clair, because it is different every single year. Every day is different, and I can have a lot of creative fun with that one.
But I think people are happy here, and I will talk to people who have come from a different area, and they're amazed at what we can offer here at the price that we offer here. It's a nice place for seniors. It's a safe place for kids. And I think we do a good job. People tell us we do a good job, so hopefully we're doing a good job. We tried.
But this only scratches the surface of Boyce-Mayview Park's vast size and beauty. As you venture out further, you'll find over 10 miles of natural surface walking trails, green space and wetlands, plus pavilions for visitors of the park to enjoy or rent for events. Over 36 interconnected trails give nature enthusiasts all the space they can hope for. The trails are strategically connected to main roads, parking, creeks, ponds, schools, and even the nearby Morton Fields complex. Just outside the Recreation Center, you will find baseball and softball fields, a multi-purpose field, the clubhouse playground, and Upper St. Clair's very own Miracle League field. These fields get used by residents, local schools, and organizations for tournaments, practices, and events all year round, and they are all maintained by Upper St. Clair's Public Works team.
People see the active space at Boyce-Mayview Park, and they do realize the maintenance effort that takes place here. However, I believe what's not realized is the maintenance that has to take place in the passive space. The miles of interior trails, the miles of perimeter trail, forestry obligations, and everything that goes along with the passive section. So that has to be realized also.
Well, the Community Recreation Center is, of course, the jewel of Boyce-Mayview Park, but we have 5.5 miles of hard surface perimeter trail. We have 12 miles of, let's call it, wilderness trail. We have connections to a major field complex, which is getting renovated this year. We have football/soccer fields, natural grass surface, and two significantly beautiful baseball and softball fields out there. It's just, and the Miracle Field of all things, it's just wonderful. The support that the Miracle Field gets is wonderful, and the usage. So,
I think one of the biggest things with getting this place built was the cooperation with the town. You know, the fact that Matt Sarakowski was all in when I brought this to him. He's like, let's make this happen, knowing the impact that it would have on so many different families and so many different people in our community. And I think the great thing about building this field is once we built the Miracle League field and people saw the impact it had in our community, then we were able to raise money for the playground quickly. Then we were able to raise money for the concession stand where we use it as a job training facilities for our kids. I think the biggest thing is having a vision taking a risk, right? Stepping out. And I love that about Matt Sarakowski and the commissioner's board.
We're extremely proud to have the Miracle League as a part of Boyce-Mayview Park. Sean Casey, township resident, has been extremely instrumental in bringing this to our park with his fundraising efforts, and the cooperative relationship between the township and Sean and the Miracle League and Casey's Clubhouse has brought just another level of park usage. Hundreds of individuals are able to enjoy the park at just another level that just isn't otherwise provided in other parks in our region.
This was such a great place for the inclusion of this Boyce-Mayview Park. I mean, this is the coolest. I think this is one of the best areas in the country. I mean, if you go to any place in the country, and I've been to a lot of different towns over the years, I mean, I can't imagine, with the rec center here, with the trails over here, with the baseball field, all the football fields, the soccer fields, the Miracle League Park, the all-inclusive playground that we have right here. I just think that these facilities are some of the best in the country, and we just felt like, man, if we could integrate into what's already here, it would just make this rec center and make the fields and the inclusive nature of this Miracle League field incredible.
Between its natural beauty, the combination of indoor and outdoor spaces, and some of the finest public recreational amenities in the region, Boyce-Mayview Park has developed into a beloved recreational destination for locals and visitors alike.
I think this has become really an essential part of people's lives. This is more than just a building to them now. This is more than just a pool to swim in. This is a central sort of keystone in their community. So we are a part of people's everyday life. They have a routine, they come in, they can work out, they can do whatever it is that they want to do while they're here. And it's multi-generational now, which is the craziest part. So the best example I can give you is when I started working here back in 2009, we had lifeguards who worked as teenagers. They were some of our first hires. They worked here, they had siblings that worked here. It has now evolved so much so that those teens who started here as lifeguards are now bringing their family, their children here to use the recreation center as just a member, as a user. So to see that evolution is the best I could ever say is an example of what we mean to the community and the surrounding communities.
Well, I would say, for any municipality that considering doing something like this, do your due diligence, do your visitations, and look at your prospective customer base. In the end, you need to have commissioners or supervisors or whatever elected official council people that are committed to get something done. And we had a very committed group, a majority that said we need to do something, and we think this is the right way to go. Let's go through the process of looking at others' successes and developing a plan for ourselves.
I think really during a process like this, it's important for the community, the managers, the elected officials, the staff to keep their eye on the prize, because it's easy to get knocked off the trajectory. People want, if they don't understand it, it's hard for them to express interest in a positive manner. But if it's something you truly believe in and you know that it's going to improve the quality of life, keep your eye on the prize and you'll get there.